The New York Times editorial board issued a call this week to legalize marijuana, comparing the ban on its use to the mistakes made under prohibition of alcohol. Now, a number of states are trying to reform marijuana laws, as you know, and there is a push in Santa Fe and Albuquerque for ballot initiatives to reduce penalties for pot use. The Albuquerque city clerk apparently gave Progress New Mexico and the Drug Policy Alliance erroneous information about how many signatures they needed to get, and the future of that effort is uncertain. In Santa Fe, organizers are continuing to push for signatures. Supporters say lesser penalties will reduce burdens on jails and courts. Opponents say it will run afoul of federal law, and prosecutors say they need these tools to push for plea bargains, which is how most of these criminal cases are resolved. I got to go to our attorney here. What do you make about the plea bargain thing? That you got to keep this stuff on the book as a leverage tool, because it seems to me certain people get that privilege and certain other people do not when you're arrested for marijuana or anything else, or another crime. What do you make of that? Is that a red herring, or is it
absolutely.
Okay?
I think that's a red herring. I mean, I think the reality is that if you've got that on the books, then there's an obligation and expectation from law enforcement that they're going to go after, that's going to become part of what you're devoting resources to. If it becomes a lesser penalty, then I think by default you end up putting resources where it matters. And I think that most of the community is saying, and a lot of people in the community are saying, those petty, misdemeanor type issues, those personal use issues are not what is worthy of our law enforcement efforts. I mean, really, we should be going after people who are involved in violent crimes, where it's a bigger issue than just
Some of us have been saying that for 15 years. I mean, I was a lone Republican out there when Gary Johnson was there, saying, I don't smoke weed, I don't do drugs. It's unbelievable. I mean, our prisons are filled with nonviolent drug offenders. And what people are failing to realize, and I'll defer to Laura, the attorney, the judges have no discretion in sentencing nonviolent drug offenders. And in order to make room for nonviolent drug offenders, violent offenders are being let out the back door because that's where the discretion is. It is bizarro world that we are having this conversation, that because somebody wants to sit at home and partake in something no worse for them than vodka, scotch. The laws are in place. You can't do this stuff and drive around. You can't do this stuff and operate heavy equipment. All the stuff that the rules are in place for, and yet we've got this unbelievable prohibition against this, and yet daily, over the counter, you could purchase over-the-counter medicine 10 times stronger and worse for you than marijuana. Is again bizarro world. If we don't get on board and realize as a country that just because we built it as the evil monster out there, that we were wrong. We are going to continue to head down the road we're heading. Our prisons are overflowed with nonviolent drug offenders, and it's not right.
Over 650,000 arrests last year, or 2013, for weed across this country. About 250,000 for cocaine and things about that, which says to me that priorities. There's a priority. Why are we going after these kind of things?
How about spice? How about stuff that's actually killing people? Why don't we get those numbers up and leave the stuff that people are not committed to?
With the comments. Pat Davis will be so proud of your comments.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't.
With the problem we have in our state with alcohol abuse, I would much rather see stricter laws on alcohol, bring back the alcohol prohibition, and free the marijuana.
Hey, wait, I do drink, so don't do that.
Let's get to the ballot initiative. Hang on a quick second. In Santa Fe, since I'm with you here, in Santa Fe, what's your sense of how the initiative is going in Santa Fe?
So, very interesting developments in Santa Fe. When they turned in the petitions, they needed 5,673. They turned in 7,000, but they had a rejection rate of around 51%.
Wow.
Which means that they've got a couple thousand to go. However, since that news came out from the clerk's office, every day these folks are delivering fresh petition signatures. Now, the big problem is that people are very confused about who's allowed to sign the petition. We all know that voter participation stinks. So the people who think they're registered to vote, or people who actually live in the county, have signed the petition, and so that's really causing a problem. But I feel like the community of Santa Fe is ready to do this. The city council has even gone so far as to say we're going to have a hearing at the last city council meeting of the month of August, and we're going to talk about whether the city council can issue this directive without a voter initiative. Voter initiative is very expensive. There's a lot of debate about whether it could even make it to the November ballot for municipal voters. And we've got the mayor of Santa Fe, Javier Gonzalez, is saying that he favors legalization even. So I think you might see some movement on this in Santa Fe pretty quick.
and juxtapose that with Albuquerque in our efforts here. Now we have a clerk who, I mentioned, gave out some erroneous information. And apparently the date is also part of the problem. It's too late to go back and get some more signatures, isn't it? Or am I misreading?
Well, you know, I think the moral of the story of where we're going is that there's a process.
Right.
You know, the percentages weren't changed. Nobody did the accurate math. And so as a result, the Albuquerque petition appears anyway to be dead on arrival because there aren't enough signatures. But, you know, I think the important thing to emphasize is that there is a process. Right. So far, the process has not been successful in getting it on the ballot. And when it does, everybody will have a chance to vote.
Interesting. Coming up, we go on the clock.